Silence is not weakness, it is power. In a world where everyone shouts to be heard, the one who remains quiet often stands tallest. The Stoic philosophers understood this truth deeply. Epictetus once advised, "Better to stumble with the feet than with the tongue." Words once spoken cannot be taken back, but silence is choice, restraint, and mastery. Think about the world we live in now. Social media rewards the loudest voices. Workplaces are filled with endless meetings, and conversations often turn into competitions. Noise is everywhere, and yet silence has become rare, almost a lost art. But here lies the paradox. Those who learn when to be silent hold the greatest strength. They are not driven by anger, ego, or the need for approval. They control themselves, and in mastering themselves, they master every situation. In this reflection, we'll explore 6 key situations where silence is your ultimate weapon. 6 moments in life where holding your tongue is not cowardice, but courage, not passivity, but power. By the end, you will see that silence is not empty. Silence speaks, and in many cases it speaks louder than words ever could. Situation 1. When you're unfairly criticized. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." The emperor who ruled the greatest empire on earth understood the futility of defending yourself against every unfair word. If what is said about you is false, why waste your breath? If it is true, silence gives you the chance to quietly correct yourself. Imagine this. You've worked for weeks on a project. Your boss dismisses it harshly in front of others, ignoring the effort you put in. Or maybe at home, a family member judges your life choices, accusing you of irresponsibility. The instinct is to fight back, to argue, to defend. But this is where silence becomes power. By responding with calm silence, you remove oxygen from the fire. You show strength that words cannot express. Instead of escalating conflict, you redirect the energy inward, asking yourself, is there a lesson here, or just noise I should rise above? The Stoic response is to control what you can, your own reaction. When you refuse to lash out, you show integrity. When you remain quiet, you disarm your critic. Silence in this moment is not weakness, it's proof that you belong to yourself, not to the judgment of others. Situation 2. When others are boasting. Seneca once said, "Work in silence. Let success make the noise." It's one of the simplest yet most powerful Stoic lessons. Picture yourself at a party or networking event. A colleague brags endlessly about their new promotion, their car, or the money they're making. The air is thick with ego. Your instinct may be to jump in and balance the scale with your own achievements. But here's the truth. The one who feels the need to boast reveals insecurity. The one who stays quiet reveals strength. Silence in these moments is not passivity. It is confidence. When you feel no need to compete, people notice. They see you as someone who doesn't need validation, someone secure in their own worth. And ironically, that makes them respect you even more. Let your actions speak. Let your work, your character, and your consistency do the talking. The noise of pride fades quickly, but the quiet power of dignity endures. Situation 3. When you're angry. Epictetus warned, "Better to stumble with the feet than with the tongue." Why? Because a stumble can be forgotten, but reckless words can leave scars that last a lifetime. Imagine you're in a heated argument with a partner, a coworker, even a stranger. Your blood boils. Sharp words form on your tongue. You want to strike back to prove your point, to hurt as you've been hurt. But if you speak now, you'll almost certainly regret it later. This is where silence becomes your shield. By pausing, by refusing to let anger control your voice, you give yourself space to think. You prevent escalation, you protect your peace, and most importantly, you preserve your integrity. Silence in anger is not suppression, it's transformation. It turns blind rage into measured reflection. It lets you ask, what really matters here, the argument or the relationship, my pride or my peace? The storm of anger always passes. If you speak in its fury, you may burn bridges you cannot rebuild. But if you hold your silence, you walk away with strength, dignity, and the power to choose your next move. Situation 4. When facing rumors or lies. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." When rumors or lies spread about you, the temptation is to rush in, defend yourself, to silence every false word. But Stoicism teaches us that truth has a way of revealing itself, and silence can be the most dignified response. Think of a wise teacher or respected leader. When others whispered doubts or spread rumors, they didn't fight back with anger or accusations. Instead, they let their life and their work speak for them. Over time, their character became undeniable, and the rumors faded into nothing. When you choose silence in the face of lies, you're not admitting defeat. You are showing trust. Trust in truth, in time, and in yourself. To argue every lie is to stoop to the level of the accuser. To stay calm and continue forward with integrity is true strength. Silence here is not weakness. It is dignity. It is the refusal to be dragged into the mud. And ultimately, it is proof that your life speaks louder than any rumor ever could. Situation 5. When dealing with loss or pain. Seneca once said, "Why weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." The Stoics did not deny that life is full of suffering. They accepted it, and in times of loss or deep pain, they found power not in loud outbursts, but in silence. Think of grief, losing a loved one, a dream, or even a way of life. Words often fail in such moments. Advice feels hollow. Explanations don't heal. But silence does something else. It creates space to breathe, to feel, to let the wound begin to mend. When you choose silence in pain, you make room for reflection. You allow yourself to sit with sorrow instead of running from it. You give yourself the chance to grow stronger through acceptance. The Stoics remind us that loss is not an exception in life. It is the rule. To face it with quiet courage is to honor existence itself. Silence does not erase pain, but it transforms it into something meaningful: wisdom, compassion, and resilience. In grief, words may fail, but silence can carry the weight of healing. Situation 6. When you're insulted. Epictetus said, "If anyone tells you that someone speaks ill of you, do not make excuses. Simply reply, 'He does not know my other faults, or he would not have mentioned only these.'" Insults are sharp, but they only wound us if we let them. The Stoics believed that another person's words cannot harm our true self. Only our judgment of those words can. Think of great leaders like Gandhi or Nelson Mandela. Both endured years of mockery and insult. Yet how often did they retaliate? Rarely. More often, they let silence be their shield. And in that silence, the world saw their maturity, restraint, and strength. When you answer every insult, you give power to your attacker. When you stay silent, you rise above the noise. You show that your worth is not defined by another's tongue. Silence here is not surrender, it is self-mastery. To respond with calm, with a quiet smile, or with no response at all, that is the highest proof of confidence. It is the moment when silence speaks louder than anger ever could. What we've learned, silence is not emptiness. It is power, dignity, and strength. In criticism, silence disarms conflict. In boasting, it signals quiet confidence. In anger, it protects peace. In rumors, it preserves dignity. In loss, it creates space for healing. And in insults, it reveals true maturity. The world will tempt you to always reply, defend, and shout louder. But the Stoics remind us that wisdom often lives in stillness. Whoever controls their tongue controls their life. Here's a challenge for you this week. Choose one of these 6 situations to practice silence. Maybe in the face of criticism, maybe when anger rises, maybe when insulted. Hold your tongue, breathe, and feel the strength that comes from restraint. Silence does not mean doing nothing. It means choosing your response wisely. And in that choice, you discover freedom. If Stoic wisdom gives you strength, join us on this path of calm resilience. Together, we'll learn the power of stillness in a noisy world.